Hey everyone, it's Allison here in the VIP group, and I just wanted to show you some tips for a card that's going to be on my blog tomorrow. This is the card using the Rooted in Nature stamp set, the Nature's framelets, Nature's Poem framelets, and the Nature's Poem DSP. And this is a series that Patsy's been doing for quite a while, using a one sheet wonder pattern that she created. And so on Tuesdays from now on, Patsy and I are going to focus or showcase a card using one of the pattern pieces. So this is a card that's going on my blog tomorrow, but let me just show you a couple of tips for making this card. The first thing I wanted to show you was the embossed leaves here on the background. You create those by taking the framelets from there's the framelets, and get the correct name here. It's the Nature's Roots Framelets dies. And these are great. They match or coordinate, coordinate both with the Rooted in Nature stamp set. It's a double mount set, so you get two of the red rubber, and then you can purchase the matching framelets either in a bundle or individually, although when you buy them as a bundle you get 10% off. Some of these dies, of course, cut out in a traditional way. They cut out the shape that you've stamped, but a few of them are embossing framelets, so they emboss your cardstock, and let me show you how that works. So what I did was I took the brand new embossing mats, here they are, and there's a impressions plate here, and then there's a really soft silicone mat that's this color, sort of a blue color, and somewhere here is the thicker one, which I don't have in front of me right now, but there's also a thicker one. And when you're doing Facebook Live, this is what happens. Sometimes you think you've got stuff in front of you and you don't. But I actually just wanted to hop on real quick to show you some tips. Oh, here it is, thicker one. So I'm not going to use the thicker one. I don't want too deep an impression. So here's how you build your sandwich for your big shot. You're going to take your big shot platform. So here's your platform. And normally for a die, you would use the thin die adapter. We're not going to use that. Instead, we're going to use the white colored impressions pad that comes with the embossing pads or mats. And I'm going to use just the light one. So this is the softest one. It's just going to give a lighter impression. And then I take my cardstock and I put it down. And then I put my dies, my embossing dies, face down wherever I would like them on my pad there. And then on top I put a clear plate, and then I run that through the Big Shot. And I just did that several times to create the pattern on my Cajun Craze, which you can see here. Okay, so that's the first tip. The second tip is, let me bring in some cardstock. Here we go. And here is the stamp that I used, the large tree. And I'm going to use some of our markers. So the first one I wanted to show you was how you can get a two-tone on a stamp. And you can do it so easily when you're using our markers. So I've opened, this is the Old Olive, and I'm using the side of my marker. Don't ever use the tip, because if you do, you'll squish it and it gets all kind of frayed and bulges out and doesn't color as nicely. So I always just color on the side. So that's Old Olive that's going on the tree there. Then I've got soft suede for my trunk. There's also some trunk up here. I can just add a little bit of soft suede too. Now I could just stamp that as is and it would be nice, but I think it's nice to get a little more depth. So I'm going to take my Mossy Meadow, which is one of the returning colors, yay, and I'm just going to kind of tap it right on top of that Old Olive. Then I'm going to take a sponge and I'm just going to soften it up and blend it so it's not so stark. Okay, I think that's okay. I don't think I took too much off. I just want to kind of soften it so it doesn't look so obvious. Okay, now you're going to huff on this. That's when you add moisture back onto a stamp that you've used markers on, just so that they're still moist. So it's just a matter of breathing right on your stamp. And then stamping it like so. Okay, so you can see that I get sort of a two-tone color on my tree instead of just a stark one tone. Okay, so those are the tips for this card. And then I did stamp the tree again on a scrap piece, but this time I just used the darker mossy meadow because I wanted more of a contrast between the two. And because this is cut out with the framelit, it's got some dimension. I didn't pop it up, I just glued it on, and it still gives it enough dimension. Just a little linen thread, and then stamped the words and glued those on. So I hope that gives you a tip for the card when you see it on my blog tomorrow. Thanks everybody, hope you're having a great day.